takes it in overtime. Brady Tkachuk, breakaway shoots, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. Tonight, Ottawa takes on the Vegas Golden Knights in a game where Ottawa is looking to squash a 4-game losing streak. That is right. Ottawa is looking to avoid 4 straight losses. Let's see if they can do it. But before we get into the game recap, some massive news dropped last night. It's been reported by People Magazine and then also reported by Bruce Garriock that actor Ryan Reynolds, that Ryan Reynolds, Mr. Deadpool, is genuinely interested in buying your Ottawa Senators. This is absolutely insane. Please make it happen. And by the way, for all those people out there that are saying that Reynolds would be the lone buyer, obviously that's not the case. He would be a part of a larger group purchasing the Ottawa Senators. But imagine an ownership group consisting of Ryan Reynolds and Daniel Alfredson and Chris Phillips and whatever. Holy cow, hockey gods, make it happen. This would be unbelievable. Ryan Reynolds also has a history here in Ottawa. He has a street named after him, for example. He has roots here. He's a Canadian, of course, from Vancouver. It just makes sense. So if the Senators are sold to a partnership or a group with Ryan Reynolds in the fold, that is such a W, such a win for this organization. Not only because Ryan Reynolds is awesome, but the PR, the marketing, the exposure that this franchise will have on the world stage will be massive. I mean, for a team like Ottawa that's stuck between some of the biggest hockey markets in the world in Montreal and Toronto, having an owner like Ryan Reynolds in the fold would really get us in the national spotlight here and, of course, down south, which is just huge for the franchise and their long-term sustainability and, of course, for the bottom line, too. So Ryan Reynolds would be massive if he's a part of an ownership group that ends up purchasing the Ottawa Senators. Once again, obviously he's not going to be the lead guy in a group purchasing the Senators, but sort of like LeBron James recently, it would make sense for him to be a minority share partner in a group. So really hoping this happens. Really hoping that Deadpool comes here to Ottawa. Just really unexpected, but some really cool news. And look. Expect this moving forward. When you have a franchise in any of the top 4 pro leagues in North America for sale, you're going to get big names interested in that franchise. So Ryan Reynolds is probably just the beginning of celebrity names putting their hat into the ring to purchase the Ottawa Senators. So get used to this. I'm very, very certain this is not the last of some crazy headliner names being interested in purchasing the Ottawa Senators. So anyways, let's get to the game recap now. A couple of minor tweaks to the lineup. Firstly, Shane Pinto, the rookie of the month, goes to the first line with Tkachuk and Drake Batherson. This means that Tim Stützle gets sent down to the second line. Well, sent down to the second line. It's not really much of a demotion, but he's on the second line now with Claude Giroux and Alex DeBrincat. That, of course, was the original second line at the beginning of camp, and they played a fantastic game. So let's get into the game. I'm going to divide this game recap into 2 halves. The first half of the game and the second half of the game. In the first half, Ottawa was down 5-1. It's unbelievable because, frankly, Ottawa was outplaying Vegas throughout the entire game. But on the scoreboard, they were getting outplayed. I don't quite understand how it's possible. They were out shooting them, they were out producing them, but Vegas were getting the results in the first half. And honestly, the reason why Vegas got 5 goals in the first half is because of defensive lapses once again in our own zone. The Ottawa Senators could not defend if their life depended on it in their own zone. I'd say out of those 5 goals, 3 or 4, the Senators were just caught puck watching, left a guy wide open through a slot or whatever. They give him a one-timer shot. White Cloud got a goal, for example, like that. The first goal for for Vegas, Thomas Chabot gave it away. Just literally right out front, just poked it right to Stone. Obviously, Forsberg wasn't going to stop that one. Just a bunch of defensive mistakes cost the Senators as usual. And Tom Chabot, I love the guy. He's not looked good this season. I have to be honest. He has not looked good whatsoever. So what do you do with that? You have to draw back his minutes, give Jake Sanderson more minutes maybe. I don't know. I support that personally. But he just does not look like himself. It's very concerning, to be honest with you. We're already 10 games into the season now. So you kind of get an idea of where players are at this point. So with Zub out, of course, he definitely has a lot more to take care of in the back end. So, I don't know if he has a nagging injury. I don't know if this is just fatigue, but he just does not look like himself. Very concerning in my opinion. But like I already kind of mentioned, multiple highlight reel goals for Vegas in that first half of the game. Just unbelievable. Defensive structure was not existent in our own zone. But luckily, look, Ottawa did get a goal. It was Claude Giroux. Nice, weird bounce here, I guess you can call it, to tie it at 1 early in the first period of play. He shot it from the neutral zone and it bounced past Thompson and in. Like Toskala with Toronto in 2008. Don't know how Thompson didn't stop this one. Doesn't matter. Claude Giroux gets the goal, baby. That is points in 4 straight games for Claude Giroux. And I'll end the first half part of the recap with this. Forsberg was taken out of the game. Cam Talbot, he's healthy, he's back. He makes his regular season debut with the Ottawa Senators tonight as he gets put into the game midway through the second period of play. Not Forsberg's fault whatsoever, those 5 goals. Ottawa just left him out to dry, and he's been overplayed. He needs a break. Talbot comes in. So let's get to the second period now. And midway through the second period of play, the Senators get some life. After multiple huge stops by Logan Thompson, who's been fantastic for Vegas in the net so far at this point, the Senators get 2 goals back. It's Claude Giroux once again getting his second of the game on a beautiful feed here from Jake Sanderson. He rips it glove side past Thompson. It's a 3-goal game, baby. And then moments later, the third goal for Ottawa on the night comes off a Brady Tkachuk shot on the 2-on-1. Tim Stützle's there to put it home. He puts it in on the trickling puck in the blue paint, and the Senators are down by 2. It's a 5-3 game. Tim Stützle gets his first goal in 7 games. Suddenly, Ottawa, after doing everything but score in the first half, they're finally scoring in the second half, putting a lot of shots on net, finally getting rewarded. 5-3 game as we go to the third period of play, and look what is happening here in Ottawa. 5-4 for the Senators. Can you believe it? Tim Stützle, he steals it. He feeds Tkachuk. Tkachuk right away, right back to Stützle. Tips it home for his second of the night. 5-4 game. The Senators are right back in it. And suddenly, Stützle going to this game with no goals in 7 straight games has 2 goals, and the Senators have life. The crowd's back into it. They're giving a standing ovation to Cam Talbot. But guess what? Nikita Zaitsev, with like 8 minutes left in the game, takes an inexcusable penalty, puts his hand over the puck. Luckily, Ottawa kills it though, thanks to some massive stops from Cam Talbot. Ottawa throws everything, the sink, everything at net. They lose. They lose it again. They lose. 5-4 to Vegas, 4 in a row, 4-6 on the season. Ottawa did everything but win today. It's just another heartbreaking loss for Ottawa in this early part of the season. They lose 5-4 to Vegas. They did everything but win. They did everything but win in that second half. It's just unbelievable how close they got, but yet so far at the same time. And they've lost 4 games in a row now, and they're 4-6 on the season. And I'll say this. They lost. That sucks. It's terrible. But the fact that they showed heart, determination, energy, the fact that they really showed up in that second half of the game, kept at it, kept on believing in DJ Smith's systems. They got rewarded with 4 goals, 3 in that second half. It's a bittersweet moment because you're obviously missing a top 6 center in Josh Norris. You're missing arguably your best defender in Artem Zub. So, you're playing against tough competition like Vegas and, of course, Tampa and, Florida the last couple of days. So, it's been a tough stretch without these key players and against these tough teams. But, I'll say this. It's much better than last year where Ottawa was getting outplayed and dominated. They're in every single game this season. Yeah, the record's not great, 4-6, but they're in every game, and that's definitely an improvement. Now, what's not an improvement is the fact that they are very, very low in the standings right now. It's going to be difficult to regain some life and get right back into the playoff conversation. I know it's early. It's only November 3rd, but that's how tight and competitive the Eastern Conference is right now. So we got to start winning games. The next game is on Saturday against Philadelphia, I believe. Early. I think it's a matinee, like 1 o'clock. So let's see if they can respond there. But I mean, I'm not even mad because that was an exciting second half, and I'm really, really happy they showed heart and grit and determination to really try to make a comeback. But it's just another heartbreaking loss. And once again, you're missing all these key players, and you're playing these tough opponents. It's just, eventually you got to get those wins. You got to get those points because you can have all these games and all these moral victories, right? You can have all these little things, but at the end of the day, all that matters is getting the 2 points, getting the W, and we're not doing that, and it's going to come back to bite us later in the season, no doubt. So we got to stop it. We got to stop it quick. Let's see if they can do it on Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers. I feel like we're ending the video on sort of a sad point, so let's put some optimism back into your heart, Sens fans. Want to hear a fun stat? The most points recorded by a Senators player in the team's first 10 games of the season. 18 by Danny Heatley in 2005, 18 by Spezza, 2005, 17 by Hossa, 2000, and guess what? 2022-2023, Captain Brady Tkachuk, 15 points in 10 games so far. Unbelievable. Brady Tkachuk, what a start. some great company there. And by the way, under Brady Tkachuk with 15, tied for him in 2005, Daniel Alfredsson. What a start for the captain, Brady Tkachuk. So to Sens fans watching this, it's not all, doom and gloom. There's some positive outlooks on this team right now, and I think things are going to be okay very, very soon. They just got to keep on working at it, and the results should come. So besides that, thank you for watching, and I will see you on Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers. I'll see you then. Go Sens, go.